It's been 50 days since devoted grandmother Anna Jenkins was last seen. Because she's missing in a foreign country, her war veteran husband has now been forced to hire a private security team to look for her.
She'd never stay away from Dad for that long.
Why didn't you turn up to the nursing home? Because that's the main reason that we went over there.
It doesn't seem that there's much information that's been disseminated.
Gone without a trace.
We just don't have any leads.
In broad daylight on a busy street, Anna Jenkins simply disappeared.
It's for someone to go missing like this, just in the middle of the day, in a public location, is very bizarre.
Leaving her war veteran husband distraught and her family forced to call in Australian security experts to lead the search.
We just can't stop until we find her and make sure she's safe and healthy and back home.
78-year-old Frank Jenkins and his wife Anna had travelled to Malaysia in December to visit Anna's 101-year-old mother.
We got a message from the nursing home that she was on her last days.
The war veteran and Anna met in the country in the 70s. Frank was stationed there with the Australian Air Force. They returned to Australia together and married, but now they're apart for the first time in more than 50 years.
I got a call from Dad on Wednesday evening, the 13th of December, saying that Mum hadn't returned from the dentist.
Frank suffers from dementia. Anna is his full-time carer. On the day she disappeared, Anna left Frank at their hotel. She was on her way to a dentist appointment, then planned to visit her ailing mum.
Rang the nursing home to see if she's still there. She didn't arrive there at all that day.
CCTV captured some of Anna's last movements. Here she is leaving her hotel in Penang on December 13 at around 2:45. That's Frank on the left-hand side, seeing her off. Staff call her a taxi, which drives her across town to her dentist. She has one tooth pulled and a couple of fillings. Staff then call her an Uber to drive her to the Little Sisters of the Poor nursing home, where her 101-year-old mother is. For some reason, Anna then gets out of the Uber 4 kilometres short of the nursing home, outside an orphanage. When Anna didn't return, Frank called his daughter Jen back in Australia.
I let Dad know just to have a cup of tea and just to sit down, and hopefully she might return.
By the next morning, with Anna still missing, panic set in.
Not only would she not turn up for Dad, there's no way she would not turn up for Grandma as well.
Jen flew out to Malaysia almost immediately to help the search. She and her brother have been taking turns visiting Malaysia to keep the missing persons case in the public eye.
All the places that my mum had told me about growing up, all her favourite marketplaces, her favourite churches, the temple she's visited, that was my plan, to hit up all those places.
Jen is now back home in Australia caring for her dad Frank. The family have taken the unusual step of hiring an elite security firm, Panoptic Solutions, to take over the search in the hope of finding Anna alive.
They have done everything twice, 3 times over.
Sort of escalated to after the 13th of January when we got to Malaysia, so we got boots on the ground over there helping out.
What complicates the search is the area in which Anna went missing. It goes from high density to jungle in just metres. So far, Panoptic has searched all of Penang and Georgetown, both on foot and in a car. They'll now extend their search to mainland Malaysia.
In Kuala Lumpur, we're going to the homeless shelters, churches, anywhere that people could be seeking refuge.
Panoptic is made up of ex-military and police, highly trained in dealing with these sorts of situations. Ben Hosking is providing support from Australia, while founder Troy Clayton is on the ground overseas.
I'm with here at St Anne's Church. This is a church that Anna would frequent when she would come over here. It's an area that's familiar to her. Potentially she's come over this way as well.
But getting the word out in Malaysia is hard.
It doesn't seem that there's much information that's been disseminated outside of the island.
Ben says the response from the police has been callous.
I don't know if they've made their minds up as to what they think the outcome's already been and they're not going to put any more effort into it, or it's incompetence or a lack of training.
He also claims the local police failed to collect CCTV from nearby businesses before it was wiped, leaving only these still frames of Anna.
Professionally, it's almost incomprehensible to think that you would lose that sort of data when you're dealing with a missing person.
As for leads, each day it gets harder, with still no clue why this much-loved grandmother disappeared.
If there's someone out there that has a demand, a ransom demand, kidnapping is prolific in Malaysia. If there's something like that, please let us know so that we've got some idea of what we need to do.
We don't know if she's been taken against her will. We don't know if she's lost her memory. We don't know if she's safe and healthy.
As for Frank, the anxious wait continues. He is hoping and praying his wife and the mother of his children returns home safely.
I just tell her, go to the police or go to the Catholic Church, the nearest one.
So we are very, very hopeful, and we just in our hearts know that she's going to be back any moment now.
Lots of questions. That security company plans to return to Malaysia to continue searching for Anna.